And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the surprise alien spaceship stream. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, or anywhere in the galaxy. I really appreciate it coming to you from the spaceship studios from a galaxy far, far away. We are going to be talking about a variety of different things and playing the game as usual. And we will now be going over to the other screen so everybody can see me. Alright, hello everybody, it's me, Alien Spaceship. And here we are, we're doing this, and now what I'll do while we have our people come through, we'll be doing the game. Alright, there we go. Alright. Alright, so now the game is launching. Okay. Alright, the game has launched. There we go. Alright, here we go with the game. I did a late night live last night. It was quite interesting. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing now is just going to go and sink some ships. And it looks like there's the pirate moon, so it means that the zombie pirates are going to be invading something. Oh, I'm at the right island. It's coming here. Alright. My pirate is still groggy from yesterday when I was in the cave and I got attacked. Yeah. Oh, this is another weapon shop. Okay. Okay. Def Gunny. Right there. Yeah, and there's a prison break that happened. Scared. So that was something I heard about earlier from Tom. Glad he told me about it. So yesterday we had an interesting conversation about the UFOs and the aliens, and it was very good, very well done. And yeah, so yeah, yesterday was a great discussion. So I forgot to put something in the title. Let's see. I'll go through this in there. And hello everybody that is here. I appreciate everybody. And I'll go. Alright, changing the title a little bit. And the title could slightly change as the time goes on. Alright, so that's the moon. That's the moon right there. Alright. Yeah, so over at the Law and Crime channel, they had Jesse with talking to some different experts about their take on the case. Now, as I said, there's nobody here on this island. There's no one here right now. There's one person over there. I don't know when this invasion is going to take place, but yeah. So what I think, basically, is it's good to see what all sides are saying about it, because I don't want to say if there is something that we're getting wrong. We want to make sure we're getting everything right with the trial, not with the trial with Diddy, which it seems like he's pretty much guilty. But I think it's, if anybody has different opinions about it, it's good to see what the different opinions are. And I I would say guilty for right now, but my position can always change. And Dwayne says, "Hi, alien spaceship, just popping in to say hello and dip out. Have a great live." Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you. You have a great day, sir. Thank you for the support. Also, there is a prison break in New Orleans that occurred. Scared. That's something that Todd was telling me. Tom, not Todd, but Tom was telling me about earlier. I have not. I saw Todd this morning, but I didn't see him. I haven't seen him since this morning. All right. All right. Yeah. So I think that the abuse footage that Diddy did was very, explicit. And now this ship is going to probably come and attack me, so I have to go and go fight it. Because it's coming from behind, I can see it. And these ships like to attack for no reason. Alright. Okay, so... And I think that so basically with Diddy, the information today was interesting that was released, and I will say that we had a good time with the chat is fun, so the chat over there I'd say is more united, even if some people disagree with each other, than the Karen Reed trial. The Karen Reed trial is just, extremely disgraceful. Now, I didn't get there today to the Karen Reed trial. I didn't get there. I could have, but I didn't. But I'm sure I didn't really miss anything too interesting, because there's a lot of bickering and fighting back and forth with that. And the trial schedule is completely irregular. And it's not how, it used to be back in the past, say, where they would have more unity with the trials. Now they're more divided. So I think that it's important for people to not fight each other, and that's why, like, say with the different religions and things, I like to have more unity, because there is, you could go and argue with people, and it's less likely for people to have sympathy towards your cause. If you're fighting, it's less likely for them to have that type of view of your position that you're taking. Also, in the Middle East, I think it's good that there's more peace going on over there. I think that it's important for that to get along with them than to be enemies with them. So people from both sides of the political spectrum are praising the actions that took place. Yeah, very beautiful pirate moon. It's also kind of scary. Scared. All right, so what I'm going to do now is repair the ship from last night. All right. Hi, alien. Pottering on, but I'm listening back to chat soon. Okay, understood. And in New Orleans, there's been a prison break. I've gotten word from Tom that it occurred, and they caught one person. So that's something scared that's going on. Also, with the Diddy updates, we'll be doing that. And I liked the alien stories we're talking about. We'll talk more about that today. And so, hello, Frog. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the stream, man. Yeah, so I'm going. So, did you go to Karen Reed today? I didn't. I didn't get there. I just think that I know I probably didn't really miss anything important, but I saw the Jesse interviewing people about the Diddy trial, and it looks like the weather over there is quite rainy. I saw Aaron this morning when I did the very late live stream, and it's a pretty cold and windy up there. Well, as I said, it was very it was very my time. It was very late, yeah, but it's all good. I really liked your live stream, Five Cats, yesterday. It was a nice live that you had, and I appreciate the Law and Crime fam because they requested these streams, and I'm glad to do them. And my own subscriber, although the Law and Crime fam are my subscribers, and they're always participating in everything. Also, the other subscribers that I have on the channel to enjoy this as well, that were here before. So yeah, as I said, this was a great thing to do these type of live streams. I really, think they're cool. You were up all night too. Yeah, I love the wall that you have, Five Cats. It's very nice. With the glitter and the colors of the night sky, I really like that. Ah, okay. Yeah, it was just boring. Okay. Yeah, I always tell myself that although I like keeping up with the Karen retrial, it's like I'm not really. It's the same old thing. Like another thing that. Yes, the black glitter rim. Correct. The thing with Karen Reed, it's like you could just watch a part of the day and understand the whole day. Like that you would take like a little part of it and get the whole thing. Ah, look, there's Remy. Hey, 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 Remy. It is great to see you. Great to see you. So, yeah, I hope everybody's having a great day. Everybody's having a good time. Okay, Five Cats. And yeah, Remy, it was nice seeing you over at the Diddy trial. I was watching Smoke and Scan's LA City Council, the clown show today, and that was very, just a lot of hectic nonsense. That was more entertaining than, although I missed the Karen Reed trial today, I didn't miss anything. And we kind of get the point, and I just have not seen anything that really stands out to me in that case. And also with the Diddy trial, I don't mind other positions if he's not guilty. So if there's anybody that think that Diddy was being slandered or something, I'm all ears, because with Johnny Depp, a lot of people thought he was guilty, but then I helped people show them that he wasn't really guilty. But I do think that, in my opinion, Diddy's guilty, or at least he's abusive. But if there's anything other on the other side that's kind of shady, I like to see the other position. Like, I think some people were saying how they think that Casey might want his money or something like that. I think that it's an interesting thing to ponder. Oh, and Remy said Law and Crime keeps zapping her. Oh, Law and Crime needs to be a class action lawsuit. I'm joking. For that, because they can't be going and timing out Remy like that. That's not good. Hello, shout out to Mary Toodles. All right. So, another thing that occurred was, as I'm saying, the news is as it's coming out. So Tom was telling me earlier that there has been a prison break in New Orleans, and one was caught. There's 11 people now. It's 10. So there's people out in the loose, running the streets. So that's scared. It's kind of like the pirate game where you could just break into a prison. You go in the prison and you could get out. I've saw something before that the city's prison system, or the jail, whatever it's called, does not really work correctly, and it's like a Timu city. Well, it's a Timu city in a lot of ways.
Where? Who?
Here.
Oh, there's 10 or 11 escaped prisoners from the.
Yeah, Tom was telling me about it
Over.
over.
For hours. That happened.
Yeah, it happened a couple hours ago, and
Caught one, but.
yeah, they caught one. Yeah, Tom was telling me about it, and I got scared.
Yeah, I know it is. It is scary.
Yeah. And so that's what I think. And basically, the Timu city, they must have been taught by Jack Sparrow. Hello, Danny. It's good to see you, buddy. So, yeah, a shout out to Tom, and thank you again, Tom, for the news. Oh, hello. Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm glad you're finally able to catch a stream. I'm gonna give you your wrench because I do that to my friends I know on YouTube that I trust. I give them a wrench. All right. So as a little gift. So there you go. That's what I said in Mel's chat. I said Timu locks. Ah. And as I said, good to see you, Danny. And yeah, they must have. Captain Jack Sparrow must have taught them how to do that. Yeah. So, as I was saying before, which I'm going to say yesterday, but that there is this a gambling game the Pirates played called Liar's Dice. It was in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And with Liar's Dice, I'll read more about it, but they put dice in a cup, and they shake it, and they guess what the numbers are under it. You're welcome. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so basically, I missed Karen Reed today. I was gonna try to get there, but I didn't make it. And I remember I did a very very late live stream, and then my phone was not charged, and I had to. I chose to wait for it to be charged better, and yeah, just a lot of stuff. But as I said, I did not really miss anything because with Karen Reed, it's like they'll kind of repeat the same thing over and over again. Nothing wrong with that. I do that all the time. But the trial, my point is about the trial, there's not a lot of progress. The progress is slow. Right. But Diddy, it was interesting to see. I like Jesse having the two guests on. And of course, Depp's attorney. I love seeing him on. I was just thinking, I wanted to see that guy go back on his show to talk about the Diddy thing, and I always appreciate his take on things because, he's very historic for being in the Depp trial. He has a name, I know. I'm not saying his name right now, but y'all know who he is. And basically, I liked his take on it. And the people in the chat asked good questions about it because some people could think that it's an Amber Heard situation where Diddy could be being hypothetically slandered or it was something consensual. But I do think right now that Diddy is guilty, or he's at least abusive or abused people. It's different than Depp. But as I said, I'm all ears to see any other different position because I don't want it to be like an echo chamber. Like the Greed trial, and Moki was the one that talked about the echo chamber thing, and that is something I'd be careful about because that's where fascism and stuff and the communism and these different religions or anything or political parties where if people hear an echo chamber without refutation, people could be in error and not be corrected of their error. Okay, so there is this society. There is a couple of utopias that were being attempted. And so there's these communist type utopias that were being attempted in the United States in the early 1900s. I think it was before the Soviet Union or when it was created. It was a very long time ago. So you had these different communities of people that was practicing a communist society, and they did not really work too well, or it was kind of like a creepy dystopia. But the people were in an echo chamber, or same thing like with Jim Jones or Chad Daybell. You know, the people they're in an echo chamber. So I think it's important to not be in the echo chamber. All right. Going here. All right. Title may change throughout the stream. Forgot to put something in it again, but it's okay. All right. So all the people are at this island, but the war is going to happen at the other island. So these people. Alright, so I'm going to go and repair this ship right now again. Let's see if it costs too much to fix it. Yeah, so with the prison break, I think that, it sounds like something from a movie. Something from the old days, that's something that would happen. Like, it seems kind of cliche, but as I said, this is how the city is, in my opinion. Like, for instance, the water systems, and although the water's clean, it's not like Mexico, but like a lot of the way it works here is underground. It's like the same thing it was in the 1800s, and it's hundreds of years of not being dealt with. Scared. And the city kind of acts like LA. It acts kind of like these different places where they kind of care about, in my opinion, their own existence and not the existence of the people itself. They moved a toilet and went through the hole in the wall. Oh, it was that simple, Tom? It was that simple? Well, I gotta give credit to the Timu prison or jail, whatever it's called, for installing good toilets that work. I mean, I'm sure they probably got like a toilet from Home Depot or Lowe's, and they put it there. I'm joking, but I don't know, in my opinion. Yeah, and 11 inmates escaped. They caught one, and there's still people on the loose. So scared. Extreme, yeah, very Timu, definitely. It's like Shawshank Redemption, but in real life, and more people. It's not going to be like Metairie or Kenner. It's going to be NOLA. Of course. I'm glad that my neighbors that were older were moved away from here. They don't have to deal with this nonsense. Although I choose to deal with the nonsense. I don't mind traveling to different places or going to different areas sometimes, but as I said, this area is where I am, and it has a lot of bugs and a lot of critters and things. It's very interesting. And now you got this going on. So I'm not going to only have some exotic bug fly in my face. It's going to have to deal with Timu prisoners. Sometimes they'll have like incidences where they'll go and try to catch somebody, and they'll all come in, the police, and they'll go and look for the perpetrators, or the perpetrator. Like, you'll have like one, like, it's kind of like a chase, kind of like watching a chase, and then the person tries to make a run for it, and they go after him. This is a much bigger situation. Scared. Yeah, so and now so basically we'll also be reviewing the Diddy updates and that do that in a moment. And I appreciate all of you for being here and hanging out with me. I really like the audience. Very cool. Okay. All right. Yesterday, as I said, great discussion, and also we'll be talking about the aliens underwater when we have, you know, so I'll explain it. So there's a theory that there's alien bases underwater, under the oceans, that the aliens are there too. It's like you're looking up, but they came from below, as Sharon said. Yeah. So I think that with the prison breaks, I don't know if it would be difficult to find them unless they have some disguise. So they must have been playing this for a while with the break. Because you got the situation where, and they're saying that they're allegedly armed and dangerous. So you have these suspicious activity going on. I think that I guess they'd be still wearing their orange outfits. I don't know. Timu typos. Also, Tom, I really liked when we were watching one of the other trials. When we're watching one of the trials and you got us in that other chat room before they shut us down from chatting in there, you were able to go and get us there. I liked how you got everything done. So, and I like how you could stay calm in situations where people are trying to attack you. And so that's all very cool. So he's saying, I am guessing they split up. 10 guys wouldn't stay together. I would agree with that. That 10 guys would not stay together. I think they probably split up. Yeah, that makes sense. You're welcome. Five Cats Television has a great channel. I recommend it. All right, and this game is called Pirates of the Caribbean. It's called Legend of the Pirates Online. It is based off of the Pirates of the Caribbean Disney movie, and something that the chat or people like to see, and I like playing. And while we talk about different stuff, but I also read the articles and things. Now we're going to be talking about, say, Diddy. Let's see any Diddy updates. This is from 6 minutes ago. The next witness is a special agent who handled logistics for Combs' in 2024 arrest. Prosecutors Madison Simizer is questioning Yazin Binda, a Homeland Security investigation special agent who works in the Human Trafficking Division Department. Binda confirmed that she handled the logistics of Sean Diddy Combs' arrest in September 16, 2024. She said she was searching the room in Park Heights where Combs was studying. Jury went back to court, 3 minutes ago. Casey Ventura is off the stand. Casey Ventura finished her time on the stand today answering questions from both sides in the Diddy Combs federal criminal trial. Her testimony wrapped up after nearly 20 hours over 4-hour days. The witness stand on Friday. She testified more about physical abuse at the hands of Combs and the drug-fueled freak-offs that happened over the course of their more than a decade-long relationship. when Combs' defense attorney finished her main cross examination of Ventura, Combs stood and hugged his lawyer when she returned to the defense table. Defense. Ventura said she believes Combs was intoxicated, but said she couldn't objectively define whether he was. Ventura said she believes Combs was intoxicated, but said she couldn't objectively define whether he was in a blackout when he was dragged and kicked her in a March 2016 assault. Hello, Nomad. It's great to see you. Welcome. Captured in the hotel surveillance cameras, Ventura also accused Combs of other controlling behavior, testifying that he would take her phone and password when he was angry with her. Prosecution redirects. Ventura said there were times Combs didn't remember physically abusing her, but there were times where he was pretty aware what he was doing. She also added, it's just who he was, and that, she said, seen him to be violent with other people. Hello, Shecky, bro. Good to see you. So there's been a prison break in New Orleans, and they escaped through the toilet hole, a hole in the wall that was by a toilet. So there's 10 people on the loose right now. So 10 fugitives, and they all probably split up. Scared. And right now we're just going over some Diddy updates. Oh, hello, Silver. Great to see you. Defense, other texts present to the jury showed the pair going back and forth about dating and seeing other people in 2018. Defense asked questions about where those texts fell on the timeline of events that year after Ventura alleged that Combs raped her following an August 2018 dinner. Danny says, or they all went to Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, maybe they're all at Chuck E. Cheese right now playing some games. I'm joked out. Tom said shit shank. Timu shit shank. If there's youngsters watching, excuse my language. Alright. Prosecution redirect. When asked if she had any doubt that Combs raped her in 2018, Ventura answered no. Defense. The jury saw a text exchange in which Ventura said she was going to tell Combs she didn't want to participate in his drug-fueled Six performance anymore, but ultimately didn't say so because of how he reacted. They also heard a recording of Ventura threatening a man in March 2014. After he said he'd seen a sexual explicit video of her, Ventura feared it had been secretly recorded during a freak-off. Gracious greetings to you, Eugene. Prosecution redirect. Ventura testified that she felt she had a whole other job and was basically a sex worker. When asked about how the freak-offs interfered with her music career, the judge granted a defense motion to strike that response from the record. Alright, text messages. Defense in the messages from March and May of 2019 after they broke up. Combs texted Ventura in part sending you love, told her she was going to make beautiful mother. Ventura testified she was pregnant. In later messages, Combs told her that things had definitely been rough without your friendship, and he has nothing but love for you always. Prosecution redirect. In response to a question about messages the jury saw where she and Combs expressed love for each other throughout the defense questioning, Ventura testified that there were times when Combs was kind and loving, but they didn't last. Scared. Silver said, coercive control by a narcissist. I feel deeply saddened for what Casey went through. Yeah, me too. Me too. And as I said, my position right now is that Diddy is guilty. I don't mind hearing another opinion, but it seems the majority, if everybody's saying it, I don't see any other refutations that much. I've seen some people thinking that she wants his money, or be kind of like what Amber Heard was trying to do to Depp. But as I said, I do think that Diddy is guilty at least of abuse and many other things that he was, responsible for in the situation. Civil suit settlement, but I agree with you, Silver, 100%. Defense Ventura said her husband, and their kids moved her into parents in Connecticut home in 2023. And they were transitioning to live on the East Coast, and defense asked if she canceled her tour around that time because she found out she was going to get the $20 million in civil suit settlement. That was the reason why, Ventura said. I'm joked out. Silver said Diddy is guilty for being alive. Absolutely. Prosecution redirect. Ventura testified that she would give the settlement money back if it means that she never had to endure freak-offs. Bursting into tears, Ventura continued, if I never had to have a freak-offs, I would have agency and autonomy. Understood, Tom. Understood. All right, Frog, you have a very great, blessed weekend. And Remy, thank you for hanging in there and being a trooper watching, going back and forth between both trials in this. I appreciate you. Thank you. So, Ventura's testimony was only one part of the case, former prosecutor says. Casey Ventura, key witness in the Sean Diddy Combs ex-girlfriend, wrapped up testimony today after 4 days on the stand, but her account is only one of the piece of the puzzle for prosecutors to prove that Combs is guilty. In his federal criminal trial, according to Paul Martin, a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, I think this is just one part of the case, Martin told CNN today. She is a linchpin, but it's not an entire case, and there will be other witnesses that will come into either corroborate her testimony. There will be other witnesses that will corroborate these free thoughts and whether force was used or not, but she is definitely a very compelling witness, a relationship, and she had with Mr. Combs. Oh, thank you, Remy. Hugs to you too. Hugs back at you. I would be here more often if it wasn't for the time difference. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Because I know with the time difference, it kind of gets late or early in different places. But anytime we're able to talk and see each other, I always deeply enjoy your company, along with the rest of the chat. Oh, we got to feed the horses. Shout out to the horses. I love horses. Man, we're about to get into a rant about horses after I read this update about Diddy, this little paragraph right here. Prosecutors over the next few weeks will still need to prove Combs engaged in racketeering, in sex trafficking, in transportation to engage in prostitution. All charges the rap Mughal has pleaded not guilty to. This is a case about RICO, Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. And whether there's a pattern or behavior of activities that was violence to force six out of this young lady, Martin said. The next witness is a special agent who handled logistics for Combs' 2024 arrest. Prosecutor Madison Simizer questioned Silver says, let's see. I would say, yeah, the chicken has always been repulsive to me. And also, Remy says, what a cock shit. Hilarious chat. And also, another thing, so back in 2018 or 19, Machine Gun Kelly put out a diss track on Eminem, and he responded. So, what he mentioned that basically that Diddy was the one that put the hit on Pac. And I think that's wrong if he did that. And then DJ, another user on here, was telling me that what money he made off from Biggie. So it's that Diddy just has like a really bad track record in my opinion. He and the and that is the situation, especially him beating her. That was also very bad. Yes, Remy, I know what that is. Shit. I know what it is. But thank you for clarifying. Remy says, why did Nomad block me just because I said Handmaid's Tale was Creop? Well, yeah, it looks like, yeah, it'd be nice, people. Now, sometimes there's situations where you block people. There are situations I think it's good to block people. But, yeah, hopefully chat and everybody can get along and not have problems. And one thing I appreciate is y'all do not pick on each other or myself. And another reason why y'all are mods is because y'all are I knew y'all like through the chat. We didn't meet each other in person yet, but I knew you all very well and trusted y'all to do that on the channel. And as the channel grows and grows, and that is the situation that I trust y'all that y'all are not causing each other problems. Right. Remy says she's cool, she promises. Nomad says, Remy, please stop saying that I blocked you because I have not. I don't block anyone, and you know that. Don't get me started with the chicken sucking scumbag. Me too, Shecky. I'd like to meet you too, buddy. Definitely. I'd like to meet all of y'all in person. That would be great. It'll happen one day. And Five Cats says, we bond through crimes. Haha. Yeah, absolutely. And Remy says Casey beat the ish out of people, loads of people too. Yep. All right, thank you. So you're saying like she's like an accomplice. Okay. So, is she certainly, for whatever reason, she did do stuff with Diddy. She did admit with that. And there's also what Michael L was saying that she was consenting to it. So yeah, it's just interesting position to point. All right, all right. Well, scared. Yeah, maybe sometimes the chat, YouTube tries to censor certain comments and stuff. I don't know. Shecky said, "I've met friends from SNS and from Meaning Wave chat. Turned out great. I'm glad you guys mostly get along." And also, Remy says, "Not an accomplice, but she is coupable." Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Remy, for the correction. Yeah, Shecky. Well, that's cool you met Smoke and Scam. Smoke and Scan fam. I think that I would love to know the people because, like, I'm in all these chat rooms all over YouTube where there's thousands of people watching, and thousands of people know who I am, if not millions. And also, y'all, too, that are in the chats as well. Y'all share in the glory. And it would be interesting to see the people that have seen my chat messages and stuff. That's fascinating, Shecky. Very fascinating. Like, I'll be somewhere and somebody saw me from some other stream. I don't even know who the person is, but they like something I said. I love how we're all able to impact each other, like, through the internet. 3 minutes ago, jury sees photos from law enforcement search of Combs' hotel room. The jury is seeing images from Sean Diddy Combs' New York hotel after 2024 arrest. Legendary alien. Facts. Facts. The jury saw photos of the expensive Park Height Alien Con meet and greet. I love that. Facts. Facts. The jury saw photos of the expansive All right, Nomad. Peace out. Thank you for coming here. The jury saw photos of the expansive Park Heights hotel room and Ziploc bags filled with Johnson's baby oil and lubricant, which were recovered from bags in an entryway closet. More bottles of baby oil and lubricant were found in the bathroom and elsewhere in the room. Binda said the jury saw a photo of the collected oils. The jury also saw photos of lighting device that was found in the living room. Binda said she would describe it as potentially mood lightening. A bottle of medication with the name Frank Black was found in Louis Vuitton bag nightstand in the bedroom. Binda testified the label on the bottle said the medication was clonazepam. 2 little bags with pink powder were found inside another bottle of medication in a nightstand in the bedroom. Binda said the pink powder in one bag tested positive for ketamine, and the other tested positive for MDMA and ketamine, according to the speculation Red Court. Silver said people are running with the Dateline video as evidence. What new evidence did anyone see? You're referring to Diddy. Are you referring to the Diddy trial? Because I know there's something about Koberger, but I'm sure you're referring to Diddy. All right, those are the current updates with Diddy. All right. So, Silver, with Diddy, I have seen pretty much the evidence that was shown already. I know they're talking about something with Nicki Minaj with Diddy, but I know. Yeah, I thought you were referring to Koberger. I thought so. Okay, so G was telling me that about Dateline, and also Caraville was showing the information too. Yeah, but I had to say this. Well, you know what? I'm gonna answer Silver's question first. So, okay, so basically, with the situation with Koberger, he allegedly was looking up stuff about Bundy, and I think that the evidence that was shown from Dateline, I think, goes against him. But another thing for his defense, Silver, another thing for his defense that G was saying is that Koberger was usually takes nighttime walks, allegedly. So him stargazing is not a good defense, but saying that he goes out at night all the time is the better defense. So there's still ways to defend Koberger of his innocence, but also I think that the other stuff that came out doesn't really help him. All right, Anna. It's great to see you. Welcome. I was reading some Diddy updates. Oh, hello there. Hello there, Jane. I'm glad to see you here. Well, Silver, there's tons of people. There's Jeffrey Dahmer, there's Gacy, there's tons of there's Ramirez, there's tons of serial deleters to study. And I think it is a good defense about Bundy because he's notorious. But to study Bundy only could raise a red flag possibly. But if he studied other ones too, all the other serial deleters at that time, then there's nothing really wrong with it. And maybe that is a strawman argument that the prosecution is using. So say, Silver, that he studied the other serial deleters, and he also, including Bundy, but they're going to say Bundy only to make him look bad. You see, because you could make a situation look bad or good depending on the way you word something. So, yeah, so basically, let's say this, Silver, that he was in criminology and Bundy's a notorious deleter, and the prosecution is using a strawman argument to make him look like he was trying to study Bundy. Exactly. Who said it was only Bundy he researched? So basically, let's say that he studied all the other ones. And look, I took criminology. I have an interest in studying the different serial deleters, and I also study Bundy a lot. I studied him a lot, but I am not going out and deleting anybody. And hey, I could be. It looks like, you could maybe frame me for that for something. And as I said, I studied a lot about him. And I agree with you that he's an essential figure to study in the criminology because he's notorious, because he looks so normal. But along with the other ones. So I do agree with you. You're right about that. And also, let's say that he studied other ones too, as well. He studied all the other ones, including Bundy, but they're going to just say he studied Bundy only to make him look that he was researching Bundy to do a crime. So yeah, that's a good defense. And as I said, it could go either way. That he may have been studying him to do a crime better, or he was just taking criminology, and that was one of the people he studied. So, and I know how to think like either defense or prosecution. I know how to think like either one. Avid gardener, what has Hansel got hidden under his earth? Scared. Maybe some pirate treasure. If he was a doctor and he studied a serial deleters, then it would be different. Exactly, Silver. Exactly. Very good. Very good defense. Very good defense. You know, if he was being a doctor or he was a dentist and he was obsessed with studying him, then that would be different. But if he was studying about him because he was taking criminology, or say us with the trial watchers, say that we're watching a trial and we're going to talk about the different people, it doesn't mean, like, say if G researches Monica Sementelli and she's being framed for something she didn't do, but she was just in the law and crime chat and it was a trial she was researching. So you could make somebody look bad when they weren't bad. Thank you, Nomad. Happy birthday to Anna. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Anna. All right, so shout out to you, Anna. It's amazing to have you here. And Anna says, did you hear what Bundy actually did to his victims? Most brutal I've ever heard. Oh, yeah, Anna. He did stuff with them after they passed. Okay, viewer discretion is advised. This is going to be very graphic. This is not for the faint of heart. So here we go. Okay, so Bundy, after he passed away, after the people were murdered, the women were murdered, he did sexual things with the bodies. That's where they say that's where his fun began. He ate them in a sandwich. Scared. Yeah, that's a way to put it. He ate them in a sandwich. And Silver said, but social media pushing a narrative, it's not evidence. And Tom said, I used to read a lot of unusual books. If someone were to look at my book collection, they would think I was a wacko. You're welcome, Anna. As I said, when I was growing up, and I used to research Bundy, and I was interested in criminology. I got to make something useful from it with YouTube. Yeah, I was interested in it too. And you know, I even have dark humor, and I make jokes about crazy things sometimes, and joke around with my friends about crazy stuff. So I mean, I look even worse. I never deleted anybody, nor do I ever want to do it. But as I said, I mean, I have dark humor, I make edgy jokes and stuff. I mean, I'm even worse than, you could say, worse than Koberger. But anyway, anything like G told me, it's like you could make something look like anything using the English language and persuasion. And she told me somebody could be guilty, but you could make it look like they're not guilty, or you could make them look guilty. And beef from cow, pork from pig. What is human meat called? I'm going to go look that up right now because I need to know that for later. I'm joking. It's just something that was requested. Yeah. Oh, that's great. 666 wishes a happy birthday too. Yeah, and Tom says when you become a defendant in a trial, all your Google searches suddenly become ominous. Oh, exactly, exactly. Hello, Toby. It's great to see you, my friend. I'll look that up right now for you. Five cats. Long pig is an acquainted term for human flesh eating by cannibals. Purportedly, the term long pig translates to a phrase used by Pacific Islanders for human flesh intended for consumption. Hello, cats, woof. Yeah, because Toby is the dogs. The dogs. Oh, there's a history of cannibalism. There's a very interesting history about it. I like how that grows people out more than doing stuff to bodies in the woods. And when they're after they passed away, but right. Another thing is if you're saying an edgy jokes and stuff like that, oh, it's good to say that it was just for entertainment purposes only. The reason why you have disclaimers is for legal reasons and stuff like what Koberger's going through. All right, like five. The silver say anything else? There was a sexual motive in Idaho for. Oh, okay. Has anyone seen the pumpkins on the front of the house in 1122 road looking white under the camera at night, but in the day it looks orange? There could be a different type of filter that can cause that effect. And a lot of times over at night, things can look totally different than they do during the day sometimes. But that's an interesting question. And Silver, I'm not aware of what you're talking about, but that's my take on it. Yes, that is true, Remy. Some cultures eat cats and dogs, especially in China. I don't know about long pigs and Pacific Islanders, but my neighbors from the Palieu taught me how to bake a dog, as in if you don't stop barking, a roast you, entertainment purposes, of course. Yes, exactly, exactly. To entertainment purposes only. And what I say sometimes is like I'm saying alien satire, and stuff. And that way it's a a legal thing. And Silver said that's why the car in the video can't be identified as Koberger's. Oh, okay, thank you. Exactly, because, and that's a good point, Silver, because at nighttime, because I'm always out at night in the woods, where on the property, and everything looks totally different at night. The sky looks different. It's like being on an alien planet. So, basically, they, that is the situation at hand where you have the car. It could be an NPC car, non-player character car. Anything could look like anything. So it's called a straw man fallacy. And so, for instance, oh, the ship's gonna attack me. Hold on. I can't repair it at the moment. But anyway, so yeah, a strawman fallacy is they took me down. They took me down. Without a chance. All right, we're gonna go and get that ship back. Okay. Oh, you've seen it in the daylight. Okay, understood. Five cats never trusted Chinese chicken. Oh, you saw it in the daytime too. Okay, thank you, Silver. But as I said, things can look different on camera. Things can look different at night or day. And so when I see stuff during the day or night, it can look, the plants look different. Everything looks different. Like if y'all saw my yard during the daytime, it looked totally different. Which we do need to do a daytime live of the garden because we all see it at night. We also do one when it's during the daytime. Five cats said, I make sure all my cats are still around during my Chinese delivery. Alright, let's go sink this ship. Alright, let's see, is that it? Attack this ship right here. Dog meat looks like beef, not chicken. Hello, Aaron. It's great to see you. It's great to see you, Aaron. But your camera is close up to your garden, alien. The cameras that caught the car driving around wasn't close up. Exactly, but Silver, what I'm saying is that during the daytime, the garden would look different in spite of the camera being up close or far away is irrelevant. The yard would look totally different at night with the camera compared to daytime. But basically, with the Coburger thing, the camera looks different at night and daytime because somebody could try to argue, Silver, that the closeness of the camera. So we'll say it's irrelevant, but the point is that it looks different to point out that it's not the card that they think it is. But you are correct, though, that a close-up of the camera and a distance of the camera is different. You are correct about that. But the point is that people are getting it mixed up because it's day and nighttime. But you're still right. You're still right. I'm just saying that, and adding to what you're saying, is that it being nighttime or daytime and the camera being far away will make it look even more different than if it was up close. So you're trying to judge a car from a distance. They cannot prove it's his vehicle. Exactly, Silver. Exactly. The attorneys at the trial chat taught me a lot. Shout out to them. I also learned stuff from YouTube lectures that they've had. Like, there's these college lectures on YouTube you can look at, and I've learned a lot from that also. And I've been doing this since 22, all right? Since DEP, all right? And I always was good at arguing because of politics and religion. I'm good at arguing those things. And, I've done it for many years. So I just had a talent for it naturally. It was even suggested by the teacher about me getting into law stuff, but I did YouTube stuff instead. I didn't go to college. But I kind of there you go. I did it through YouTube. But said I always was like into doing my own thing, which like business stuff. That's what I was more into, or and that's like it worked out that way better. Yeah, thanks for the tip, Toby. We need to learn those trades. Yes. Yeah, Toby. I don't know what Regil is. I know Star Trek, but I don't quite remember all the different characters. Scared. They have cream cheese in them, rather a little ground meatball. Toby's and Remy says Toby, nice restaurants are safe. Those dive types takeaway places are iffy. Scared. Shecky says I like doing my own thing. Also, I work well with myself and self-employed. Exactly. My grandfather and great grandfather were into doing stuff like that. Also, I learned later my dad's side too. I remember I get along with my uncle, but he didn't completely understand what I do with my life.
I don't understand what he did with his life.
Oh,
Did he ever say what his job was?
the uncle.
Yeah.
So basically, he was a DJ.
Well, I heard you.
Now this was like in the beginning. I get along with him now, and it's like I don't know. I don't say stuff on Google Gmail about. I didn't do anything. I don't do anything legal, but I just don't. I like to be the underdog or be
Looking at me or them?
I'm talking to everybody. I like to be like unexpected, and I don't always like say what I do. But he kind of like learned later what I do because I kind of like told him the thing, and especially he was another thing that y'all will find funny is he was telling me I need to like get out and check out the ladies and stuff. But y'all know in the chat that I do that already on YouTube. I have a lot of lady friends and a lot of guy friends, but with the internet, with the modern world, we're able to connect with people differently than we used to. Although you could still go out and have fun with people, I like talking to y'all. I like talking to y'all, the online the most. And while I'm here helping out my family and stuff like that, I like being, I like talking to y'all for now. I always will talk to you people all the time until we all part from being deleted. I'll be in touch with all of you. But as I said, I did business stuff, Shecky, growing up. I was always into entrepreneurship. Growing up even as like not even in my 20s, but like in an older teenager, like kind of like halfway adult. And I help my family with things, but a lot of times they, little things, and they appreciate me for helping them. My grandparents love my YouTube channel, and my uncle likes my YouTube channel too. He thinks that it's a great thing that I'm doing with YouTube, and he likes to see the progress that I'm doing, and he understands better now what I do. At first glance, he didn't understand it, but I had to explain it because he didn't quite get it. But it's okay. I like helping him understand what's going on because it's like I talk to more ladies and more people than he ever did on his little tiny island in England. I've talked to millions of people throughout time. It's like, so Alien, this is your primary job, and Anna, in a way, yes, it is. I do a variety of things, but I take this so the YouTube thing was not necessarily for money. It was, yeah, I did make money from YouTube, but it was not the main goal. The main goal was telling the world about the alien theories and the conspiracy theorists around different YouTube streams to have their own stateless collective way where people could talk about these things. And I wanted to, people enjoyed my time in chat. People enjoyed talking to me in the different chat rooms, and I wanted to dedicate my life to serving this cause. So it is, you could say, my main job. Yes, yes. I do other things too, but it's my main job. Yes.
Keep some things private.
Right, right. And basically, I don't. I think it's going to be independent and have freedom. Yes, I recently got merch to. Thank you, Remy. And recently, I did create merch. I had merch before, but what I had to do was I had to go and figure out the correct place to get the merch created and all for the people, because, as I said, Rebecca, she likes her hoodie she got from the place, and people like the merch. So basically, yes, I got merch, and sometimes people will donate to the channel. As like, people don't have to do all that, but I never asked for a donation, and I never asked for merch either, to people to buy my merch. But people donated to me and bought my merch because I know how to just make something where I do this, and that's all I care about, is doing a YouTube channel, and not about making money. That's not my main goal, but that happened. But my main goal is to make something a wonderful thing. But yes, I without ever asking for a donation or asking people to buy my merch, people did it. Because I never mentioned, I'll tell you all this also. I never asked for a donation. All these YouTubers ask for a donation every 10 minutes. They all ask you to buy their merch every 10 minutes. Or every 5 seconds. But I don't, and people say, wait a minute, where is his merch at? Where is his donation at? That mind blows people. So they go, oh, okay. They want to donate because they like what I'm doing. But if you shove it down people's throats, it's not as effective. And another thing is, life is very short, and death is a path we all share, like what Steve Jobs said. And every day I wake up, I ask myself, if it's the last day of my life, am I going to do the thing that I'm about to do? So it's not even about money or about anything or working. It's about, like, all these people like me in the chat room, the people like me in my YouTube channel, or something funny I said, or other channels that I attend to that are much bigger than me, that I go and make the wonderful product, because that's like, okay, if it's the last day of my life, what am I going to do? Not about money or anything. What's the thing I'm going to do? And I remember, like, say with Pam from the Law and Crime, she really wanted me to continue going there, and everybody else wanted me to go there, and it never failed me. And look at this, I got all these different subscribers from Law and Crime. I'm an essential figure in Law and Crime, and that's why I didn't follow the path of money. I followed the path of just trusting the dots would connect in my future, that things may not make sense at a moment, but they'll make sense later. So any kind of risk to take, or anything that I do, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be deleted anyway at some point. And that's really the most wonderful thing. So it did not fail me. That kind of logic was what I used for this. And as I said, when I'm in Law and Crime all day long, or I'm in Smoke and Scan all night long, as I said, I don't make anything from that, but it doesn't matter, because it's creating a wonderful product, and it paid off later by getting more subscribers and watch time hours. It all makes sense later. Okay, I'll give you all, since you all asked, I'll give you all the link to the merch. Alright, here we go. Go here. I'm going to shorten the link also. Okay, so something I did was I had a blog website at one point, and I made articles about tea. And if somebody wanted to buy tea, basically, what I do with tea, and say someone like say Shecky, amen, Toby. There's a value in socializing you cannot put a price on. Yes, and so that is what I think, and basically, you can't put a price on certain things. And like, say that I went through some betrayal and things happened that I didn't like, but I had so many people that were loyal to me. That was the most important thing that occurred. Like, so say if Shecky was going to buy some tea, right? And he was looking at my store, at not my store, but my blog article, and he clicked the link and he bought a box of tea, and say I made a part of it. That is like something I did in the past, and so I learned from marketing about the YouTube channel from there, and also I had a certain knack for it. Eugene, if you want to be vegetarian or vegan, that is fine. You would need, this is what you would need, Eugene. You would need vitamin B12 supplements, because that's what you would be lacking. And basically, okay, link short, link shortening. All right. Oh, this is it right here. Okay. I'll bring the merch. All right. I see something going on with the chatters. All right. So everybody that Rebecca loves her scared hoodie. For those that were interested, that's where it was at. All right. And I'm gonna look at this chat because it seems very spicy. I love you, alien, but you have way too many Nazi friends. Scared. And also, Nomad said, "Where do I find your merch?" And Toby says, "I envy you. I buy stuff at the swap meet." And then you have Silver. She said, "Guys, Hughes gets stropey with his audience if they're not donating. He abruptly cuts the live stream." All right. And buy stuff from swap meet. There's a value in socializing. Remy calling a Nazi, how very nice of you, and then you have that. And Shecky, it does all the same stuff, but I bought from the thrift shops, but will return to them when I get deleted. I want to quit eating meat. Oh, I'm not nice. Yeah, Remy is my pit bull. That's what she is. She's fierce. And also, Danny and the chat, well, let's not fight each other, okay? And here we go, going to go on the religious rant again. But first, let's see what the chat has to say. And yeah, Remy, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. We're trying to get along here. Why can't we all just get along? And Remy, nice is overrated. Kanye is canceled. And Alien, where do you get your merchandise from? Alright, so Remy, this other group it's called Fourth Wall is the company. So they create I design it and they create it. And basically, alright, Danny, understood. Understood. But, you know, as I was saying, okay, Danny, okay. So basically, what happened was fourth. They're called Fourth Wall. They go and create the merch for me, and then I get a cut from it, and then they put out the product. That's what they do. That's how it works. Hello, Breeze. It's great to see you. Oh, Toby, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I didn't think that'd be a problem. And also, Remy, I have a lot of different people I know from different parts of YouTube. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of different people I know, and yeah, I know people from across the political spectrum and the religious spectrum. Yeah, so I just know everybody. I got 500 million new friends, pretty much. So you're gonna have people from all different areas. All right. I ate 2 cans of cookies. I am very calm. All right. So here, oh, that ship, I have to repair it, but I'm just gonna go to one of the other islands. Okay. All right. Now, you see, I want the fighting in the chat to stop. All right. All right. Yes, Remy, that is true. You have to be aware of the company you keep. And also, Remy, when I meet people, I don't completely know everything about them as time goes on. And oh, thank you, Nomad. Thank you. But yeah, you're right, Remy. You're right, Remy. But you know, in many ways, Danny is good to talk and chat with about a lot of things. All right. So, like, say, Remy, I'm talking to Danny about, say, if it's about movies or about politics or about God. All right, it's all good. But if there's something else that about him or other people that I didn't, so I'm not putting, saying like I never had a problem with him personally, but I understand you have problems with him. Yeah, but I don't completely know everything about a person until you get to know them perfectly, completely. And I do not think that it's good to attack people. I'm not saying Danny does this, but I'm saying that it's good not to attack people for like no reason that are doing nothing wrong, technically. Vice versa, it could go both ways. I mean, Remy is a pit bull, and she does get feisty, and there's a lot of people that fight her all the time. That's true, and that's just how she is. And also, then you have another people that will have a battle or a fight. All right, Danny, God bless you. Take care. So then you have that happen. But as I said, personally with me, I'm not going to know everything about somebody until the whole thing. So as I said, fighting goes both ways now. And Remy, you are a pit bull. She is a pit bull, and I'm not going to deny that. But I'm not. And Danny, as I said, I enjoy my conversations with Danny. We have talk about politics and different things. I think it's fine. I mean, but I understand if there's something else about him I don't know about. It is what it is. But I'm not putting him down. I enjoy my conversations with him, but I don't support attacking other people for no reason. If they're doing that, okay, if they do that, I'm not saying he's doing it. I'm just saying in general. All right. As I said, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus. Or, well, of course, Islam believes in Jesus too, in a different way. And I just personally think that people could practice what they want to practice. I'm not for, like, say, attacking someone either way for their beliefs. Like, say there are attacks on both Christians and Muslims. That's true. But as I said, if we could all get along here and not have a problem with each other, I think that's the best way to go. And anything that occurs, I take responsibility for anything that I do that's not right. But I think everybody seems to like how I'm doing things. All right, let's read this beautiful chat that's getting along. All right, and Danny says it's sad you think it's okay to call people Nazi and fascists. It's sad. Take care. And then you have sorry Danny. And Remy says, I hope you make a good profit on your merch. Do you have PayPal? Yes, Remy, I have PayPal and I have Cash App. All right. And I'm going to get into this. I'm going to get into this real quick because I got to do this. All right. So we're going to have Uncle Alien time. All right. So we have Shecky says, I feel bad for a lot looking at the control and outcome, not some random whim, right? Do not talk to me, Danny. I cannot abide by people like you. Fascists suck. And, oh, it's getting spicy. I believe in fortune, luck. It seems that this chat's amazing. I love this chat. Y'all are just a bunch of lovely peas in a pot. I want to be open-minded, but not so much about the brain falls out. And it said, Toby, you would think this conversation's fascinating. About this, because from a, say, like an atheistic perspective, this must be very fascinating. For these people who are fighting over this stuff. And also, what percent do I socialize in real life with people online? Well, so far, I've socialized 100% with people online. I don't do anything else really because I'm focused on other things right now, but at the moment I just focus on socializing online. All right, but I'm going to address this religious stuff right now. I'm going to go there. All right, let's see. Am I being burned at the stake yet? Let's see. Toby, love, Remy. I just scrolled back and I saw thanks for calling him out. I don't see it. All right, and then Remy says that Silver was attacked first. Okay. Danny says, correction, Silver brought up something about halal meat. I responded and gave my opinion on it. I didn't attack anyone. You want to give your opinion, but others can't have theirs. Oh, I love this. Hello, Amy. And hello, Breeze. Get some popcorn because the chat is having a religious war right now. There's, we're going to fight over things like this. All right. So, also, game part is over for now, and we're going to go to the other window. Hello, Abby. It's good to see you too. Good to see you too, Abby. All right. All right, Remy, but not Saudi Arabia. If we're going to get the Middle East, can we get Jordan and Aqaba? Nice to say open to others' thoughts and beliefs. All right, everybody, buckle up. I'm about to go there. Masturbation. Ooh, spicy, Abby. Hello, Alien. All right, Sharon is here too. All right. Damn, what's going on, Remy and Alien? Hi, boss. Oh yeah. Okay. Imagine responding like a bee. All right. Okay. I'm a good math debater for sure. There you go. All right. There was a standoff with a Diddy supporter in New York City who climbed up the statue and wouldn't come down. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. Tom says, I think it represents something very real and has been thrown around way too much. I reason people can't disempower terms by doing that. All right. Thanks, Abby. All right, so this is religious time. All right, so Remy, there's been times where a special religion was mentioned sometimes, and a lot of times you weren't here to see what I did. So I'm glad that you're here now. So one thing I'll make clear is I am a Christian. All right, I'm a Christian. I was raised Catholic, and I have also traditions from Protestantism too. So I have both of that, and also I'm not Jewish, but I went to a summer camp where they had a Jewish summer camp where I learned about the Jewish religion too, and also basically what happened was I went and I've learned about different religions, and especially with the situation with the attacks that happened. I learned about this special religion that way, but I also discovered that this special religion, a lot of the people that I met from this certain religion were actually pretty, fine people that weren't people that are doing stuff that are, wrong. And all religions have people that do things that are bad in. And then, by the way, there's a prison breakout that happened in New Orleans, and there's 10 people on the loose right now, just for the record. All right. And, all right, Remy, peace. So I don't want people being attacked for their religion, if that's going to happen. And I want people here to get along and although I believe in God, I want people to not try to have problems with this religious conflict and try to stay on topic and get along that way, because I believe that these things can cause division. And there are Muslims that watch me, and I don't want them being attacked or feel that they're, not welcomed here. And I think all the people that watch me should be welcomed here. So basically, as I said, I don't mind the Muslims being here, and I like them here, and I don't want the, conflict to occur, and I want us all to stay on topic. I want both sides to stay on topic. So yeah, and I think there are Muslims that are not bad, and we can't put everybody in a box. I think there are Muslims that are cool. Like Remy. Remy's very sweet, very nice, and I always enjoy her company in the chat. I always enjoy Remy's company, and yeah, the Muslims, yeah. And she always, as I said, she prays like we pray. They believe in God, and I like people that believe in God, because there's a lot of people. I don't mind atheists, but as I said, I feel common ground with people that believe in God, even if they're different. So, and Remy does not attack Christians or do anything against us, and I think it's fine for her to have her beliefs. I think it's America, you are entitled to have your beliefs that you have, and here I think it's people can believe what they want, and I think it's good for people to stay on topic. So Remy, I've always defended you, and when you weren't here. And I didn't want people arguing about the Muslim situation, because, you're a fine person. And I go by the person, not about what their religion is. So, it looks like we're having some fights in the chat. Okay. So that is my position. So people could believe whatever they want. They shouldn't be attacked for it. All right. Understood, Remy. Understood. And there's less crime in the areas that are Muslim. There seems to be less crimes. And also, y'all practice it, and I said y'all are fine people. I think that, like, say Saudi Arabia, where Trump was, they treated him very well. So, shout out to you and your people. But, basically, I think that, as I said, here people could be Muslim if they want or not. Doesn't matter to me. And here we go. Define without Google search. Okay. I'm going to read the chat for a moment. And I said, Remy, you've always been very sweet and kind to me. All right? So I always appreciate you. All right. So, okay, here we go. I'm reading this chat of the situation. All right? I have to read this chat. All right. I'm reading everything out loud. Aaron says that's what started off. Okay. Why aren't we talking about the prisoners in the run, Alien? I'll read the chat for a second, then I'll go back to the prisoners. All right. No, Danny, because told you somebody, if you wanted to something, you should certain specific. When you have hollow meat, among other places. All right. Let's see. Y'all, thanks for bearing with me. All right. Alien, Danny has been attacking Muslims since I met you, Alien. I understood, Remy. Understood. And I don't want him attacking people for being Muslim, that are not doing anything wrong. So yeah, I understand. Let's see. All right, so I'll state this once and for all, everybody. Calm down. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing here. I want everybody to stop talking about the religious topic at the moment. All right, so we're going to go. As I said before, I want the religion situation to be neutral, and we are going to see about any articles and updates about Diddy and the prisoner escape. All right. So, as I said, Remy, you're always welcomed here, in Silver, any other Muslims that watch me. All of you are welcome here, and I have no problem with you. All right. And I want this to stop. All right. And as I said, I will not tolerate this. Remy and Silver, they've respected my faith in Christianity. Never did anything against me. All right. But they do whatever they want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me either way. But, we got to stop talking. Danny, would you please just take a break from this? We're not talking about religion right now. All right. Okay. So we're going to go to the prison breakout. As I said, we're going to be stop talking about the religion stuff. It's off topic. All right, so, and if there's a problem with the connection, I'm going to read this from my phone because it'll help with the connection situation. All right. Here we go. Yeah, and I'll say that, let's go here. Whew. Okay, that was intense. All right. Whew, I'm all right. I wish my co-pilot was here, though. I wish, she was here. She would not tolerate this BS going on. Anyway. 10 inmates escaped New Orleans jail with help from inside the department, sheriff says. I don't, it's all right, Remy. Remy, I have no problem. You're fine, all right? You never said any, you're fine, all right? The sheriff warned the public Friday not to engage with approach to the inmates who should be considered armed or dangerous. All right, Eugene. Be blessed. All right, peace. I'm going to say something after I read this article, though. I am. 10 inmates from Orleans Parish Justice Center, New Orleans, with the help of the people inside the department, sheriff said Friday. Officials discovered the inmates missing during the routine head counts around 9:30 a.m. Friday. Sheriff said Houston said a new conference calling a very serious and unacceptable situation. The inmates allegedly started yanking on the cell to pull it off or track just before 3 a.m. The sheriff said an update they were able to break open a door, Houston said, telling reports that there was an employee in the PUD model. They were still able to exist in the jail about 1:01 a.m. after breaching the wall beyond the toilet in the jail. Video surveillance showed the exiting door of the dock scaling a wall running across the interstate, she said. Photos released by the sheriff's office show that the inside of a cell where escape is believed to have happened, a large hole was cut behind the toilet where phrases such as "we are innocent." All right, Zero, thank you. Thank you. Photos released by the sheriff's office said the inside of a cell where escaped to believe to have happened, large hole was cut, a toilet with the phrase "we are innocent" and "too easy LO" we've written in above. How thin were the walls in the prison? They were a bit too thin. They're not saying exactly how thin the walls were, but they were much too thin, Remy. They're much too thin. And if I could find the information, I'll let you know. And it's, there's some pictures of it. I got some pictures on my other screen right here. All right, so the inmates allegedly started yanking on a cell to pull it off just before 12:30 a.m. The sheriff said in the update. They were able to break open the door, Houston said, telling reporters that there was an employee in PUD module. They were still able to exit the jail in about 1:01 a.m. after the breaching wall behind the toilet in the jail. Video surveillance showed the escape exiting the door on the docks, scaling a wall running across the interstate, she said. Hello, Joyce. You missed all the nonsense that happened. Good to see you. Photos. So there's been a jailbreak in New Orleans, by the way, and I'm reading about it. Photos released by the sheriff's office showed that inside the cell where escape believed to have happened, a large hole was cut. Also, I'm glad you understand me, Zero. And Zero, I love having you on this channel, and you're a great friend. You're very funny always, brighten up the mood. All right. And I love all of you here. Very amazing people in chat. Press conference, it was said it would be near impossible for them to escape without assistance. Oh, there you go, Remy. There you go. Amen, Zero. Amen. Photos realized by the sheriff's office show the inside of a cell where the escape is believed to have happened. Large hole was cut behind the toilet with the phrases such as "We are innocent" and "Too easy, LOL" written above it. I'm seeing it right now. The walls look too thin to me. Yeah, it might have been an inside job. Inside job. When asked in the report of the power tools had been used, Chief Corrections Jay Mallett said it was something the department was looking into. Timu drywall. No, it looks like I'll show you all the picture right now. I'll put it on the screen. Timu drywall. Hello, Linda. It's great to see you. All right, Zero. Thank you. You have a question about police lying. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. So that's the hole that they made. Okay, why 10? There is only 6. I signed out. Holds chin. Damn, I opened my mouth again. Happy birthday to Anna, also. It's more than just a breach of security. It was some type of help. He said at a news conference it would definitely be some type of tool used other than just a strength of the sheer individual. You recognize that hole, huh? Alright. Yeah, skinny inmates. The sheriff office initially said that 11 inmates had escaped. Houston clarified that one man, Keith Lewis, had been moved to a different cell and was never returned. Chief Christopher Goodley with the Sheriff's Office Field Operations Bureau said the inmates who escaped custody should be considered armed and dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Jail records show that at least 4 of the escaped inmates are charged with the murder of attempted murder charges of others include aggravated assault with a firearm, armed robbery with a firearm, and false imprisonment, battery, and drug offense. At least one of the escapes, Kendall Miles, they be lurking in the swampland, yes. At least one of the escaped Kendall Miles has apprehended. State police shared a photo of Miles in police car after was captured in the French Quarter following a brief foot pursuit. He was found hiding beneath the car at the Hotel Monteleone. Oh, beneath the car. They're at the Monteleone. I love that hotel. That's a very fancy hotel. Scared. At the parking garage, the sheriff's office Miles face new charges for simple escape. I'll tell you this, never tell a chick to get you some Arby's. Also, after she sends a pic of paws, never mind. Oh yeah, Remy, there is a lot of monsters there. Absolutely. All right. Miles 20 escaped the Bridge City in 2022. NBC affiliate of New Orleans reported that indicated an attempted murder and carjacking case after he and accomplice were accused of robbing 59-year-old man. And District Attorney's Office said September a new release. Oh yeah, I feel better. I feel better. Yeah. Authorities said Miles allegedly shot the man twice before taking his car and releasing, he stated. Thank you to Troop NOLA for their diligence and speed apprehending the first escapee. Governor Landry said on Post Friday to others, "You are next." Louisiana Attorney General Liz Morrell said her office was calling for investigation and will do whatever it takes to determine what happened. Someone clearly dropped the ball, and there's no excuse for this, she wrote on the post on X. I'm calling for a full investigation. This is beyond unacceptable. These offenders are back in custody. They must be held real accountability. Scared. Hello, Cecil. And Linda. That is true, Toby. That is very true. The sheriff's office said it was working with the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies in full-scale search operations. Houston told public not to engage with approach of the inmates. Oh, I've seen giant rats before. Urging public to remain alert. Oh, yes, it does, absolutely. Alright, so looking at the screen, this is, they're saying too easy, LOL. They got out. Hated. And there they go. That's how they got out. behind a toilet. That is a brick wall with metal. "12:20 a.m. escape occurred. 1 a.m. inmates seen running across the I-10. 8:30 a.m. escape discovered during head count. 9 a.m. Sheriff Susan Houston said she was notified. 10:15 a.m. Fox 8 receives tip of the source. 10 a.m. they confirmed the escaped in the media. 10:30 a.m. receives statewide alert. NOPD notifies public. 11 a.m. first conference was held. 11:30 a.m. NOPD holds press conference and Chief Andrew Kirkpatrick criticizes the public notifications. All right. That's the whole scene. Regina, they caught one. Yeah. Oh, I'll show what a nutria is. This is a nutria. And they have fangs. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you. Scared. It is like a beaver. Abby says, well, they didn't secure the freaking Canadian border, so if they can make it into Canada, the FBI can kiss them goodbye, and I know that for a fact. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, certainly, certainly. Yeah. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, yeah. Nutria and beavers may look similar, but they are not closely related. Beavers being in the Castroid family, while nutria are part of the Echamaidea family. Scared. One time, I was in the French Quarter at night with some friends, and I saw this giant rat that looked like a big cat. It was scary. Never ate a nutria. No. I've never eaten one. Abby, I don't know if you told me where your stalker was from. I don't know if you told me, or I may have forgotten. But they didn't secure Sheila. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so look at the Nutria. Yeah, and also New Orleans has a problem with cockroaches. There's like it's infested with roaches. Scared. Gross. He needed a lot of lube because his small little pecker can't produce that much lubricant on his own, so he had to get it from other people. He had to go and get a lot of lube from Timu. Hello, TJ. All right. There are communities in UK that eat those giant rats. Scared. Nutria meat has been promoted as a suitable food source in areas where the species is invasive and have been used in dishes like jambalaya and sausage and burgers. I didn't know that. Canada. I know you're in Canada. I know you're in Canada, but I didn't know your stalker was from Canada. He crossed okay. Crossed over illegally. The cops didn't know. They still don't know, and he got me after promised me he wouldn't come near me. So like I said, Canada ain't worried about it. Yeah, Canada is cringe. Yeah. Scared. Yeah, exactly, Silver, exactly. Alright. So that's where they did the escape. I don't know where Moki is. She might be at the beach or something. Not the be at the pool maybe. And also cats eat rats. Who has the small p, the rat or the inmate? Joyce, both of them have the small p wee. Both of them have a small pee wee. But Diddy's the one with the smallest one. He has a nano pee wee. So it's Diddy that we're talking about. Oh yeah, Steve, I've seen that before. That sounds interesting. It sounds like it's going to be delicious. Yeah. A small cucumber, a small banana, a little, a male member. Gloria, it's great to see you. Yeah, the volume down. Well, yeah, there's some drama earlier. And I am going to address something. I am. I'm going to go off topic for a moment. Certainly. And then we'll get back to the topics. Because it's something I need to address. Make it clear to the nation and the world during this great time of crisis. Scared. Alright. Time to address something. Alright. Oh yeah, Remy, that's very nice over there, definitely. Alright. Alright, so something I want to talk about. You know, as I said, I am mentioning this, I'm bringing this up, I'm derailing the topic for a moment, then we're going to go back to the other stuff we talk about. Alright, so, and if y'all cringe or not, I don't care. I care about y'all, I love y'all very much, and I'm doing this because I care about y'all very much in this unity we have. Alright, so here we go. So, basically, through the various different streams that I have, you could say, acquired on YouTube, I've acquired different groups of people. And it seems to be one of my most zealous groups, besides the other ones, is the Law and Crime group. And it's a great place where there's diverse people of different orientations and faiths and colors and nations coming together for the trial. And I think that shows the essential part of the American way it was supposed to be. The American values are expressed there. Although there is trolling, there's people that have issues and problems sometimes, a lot of division. That's why I don't like the Karen Reed trial with all the division. This is something that it's still a great place to connect. I'm glad I met every single one of you, and I always enjoyed the company of Remy and Silver and Gloria. I've always enjoyed their company along with all of you. And here, all people of different faiths are welcomed here. So basically, similar to what Gam was saying the other night, I think, where Alien has a religious neutrality. So yes, I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but as I said, so people here should not have to feel that uncomfortable about what they believe or say what they think. And if people are attacking other people for their faith when they're not doing anything bad, I think that is not right. Because America is religiously neutral, and everybody should be free to do as they please. And this chat should have unity and not be divided, because we have people from all over the spectrum of religion, and all different people of different political views and stuff. So I'm glad that everybody calmed down from earlier, and it was as I said, I didn't want that to happen, and people should talk about whatever meat they eat, halal meat. I don't know how to pronounce the word. It starts halal meat, whatever, without feeling uncomfortable about it, because when you go and attack people, they're going to start to attack, and then it's like you're going to make new enemies of people, or it's not necessary. So if we could all get along, that is a preferable situation. So it's unfortunate what happened earlier, okay? But I'm glad that y'all stayed together. And it is, Remy, it is important to be aware of the company you keep. There was a time where the co-pilot Stranded had to correct a certain individual that was starting a ruckus about a special religion, about Muslims. And so, as I said, there's no need. We could just coexist peacefully. So I appreciate all of you for being here and being allies with each other and getting along. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you. So nobody should feel threatened for what they believe in, and everybody should be welcomed here. Okay? I don't support any kind of fascism or Nazism or extremism at all. All right? There we go. Thank you, Remy, very much. Thank you. All right, that's what I have to say. Hello, Jamie. Great to see you, friend. And Steve says, I feel horrible if you guys attack me. The fact that you have to say this to adults is beyond me. I know, Gloria, I know. It's like I have to talk to a kindergarten or something. It's ridiculous, I know. Thank you, Regina. Thank you. And I'm not going to tolerate the fascism here anymore. All right? It's not going to be tolerated. All right? Under me. Thank you. All right, so thank you all for the support. I'm glad that y'all like what I said. I know all about fascism. I'm part German. I know all about what they did. All right? To the Jews and everybody else they didn't like. I know all about it. All right. So anyway, this is the Temu toilet. Yeah, Jamie. Scared. Thank you, Nomad. Thank you, and Gloria, everybody here. All right, so this is the Temu toilet, and they escaped, and let's see if there's any updates about it. All right, thank you, Toby. Yes, Silver, I agree. Yes. All right, and let's see if there's an update about this, and if there's an issue, I'll read it from the phone. 9 inmates on the run after escape in Orleans Parish. All right, so they're still on the loose. The Temu inmates are on the loose. Abby says, I'll swallow some testicles, Toby. Open up. Hello, Abby. Hilarious. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Yes, Regina, they disconnected the toilet and the plumbing. They took that you see right here, this a big toilet. They took it off the wall. I know, right? All right, so this is the toilet right here. Look how big this thing is. Look how big it is. So basically, you have this toilet that is they disconnected that, and they also disconnected the plumbing. You know, so they had to have some sort of tools or something like that to do it. All right. We're going to take that window out because it was causing a problem to the stream. Okay. It should work now. Abby said, OMG, could you imagine picking that shield up and throwing it at somebody? Oh, I know. Uh-oh. Alright, it should be coming back. Alright, so I have to read this through the internet, because my phone, because it'll be too much for the computer to handle. I mean, not for the connection. There's a lot of cookies on the website for CBS, so it caused the stream to kind of go down for a moment.